The rain fell in relentless sheets, blurring the city lights into impressionistic smudges. Inside his gleaming black limousine, Arthur Sterling, CEO of Sterling Industries, was dictating quarterly reports, his voice a calm, measured baritone. His life was a symphony of precision, every minute accounted for, every decision calculated. Tonight, however, an unexpected discord broke through his carefully constructed world. His driver, Johnson, slowed the car to avoid a particularly deep puddle. It was then, through the streaked window, that Arthur saw her. Huddled against the brick wall of a closed storefront, a young woman sat on the cold, wet pavement, her thin jacket offering little protection. Her head was bowed, and her shoulders shook with silent sobs. Next to her, a small, worn backpack lay like a forlorn companion. Arthur, a man accustomed to seeing the city's underbelly from a distance, felt an unfamiliar tug. He paused his dictation. "Johnson, pull over," he commanded, his voice devoid of its usual authority. Johnson, surprised but unwavering, navigated the luxury vehicle to the curb. Arthur stepped out into the downpour, ignoring the frantic protests of his assistant on the phone, who was now being held against his ear by Johnson. The rain plastered his expensive suit to his frame, but he barely noticed. He approached the woman cautiously, her despair a palpable shroud around her. As he drew closer, he saw the faint outlines of hunger and exhaustion etched on her face. Her name, he would soon learn, was Clara. Clara had once had a life, a small apartment, a job at a local cafe, and dreams of saving enough to go back to college. But a sudden illness, mounting medical bills, and a landlord unwilling to wait had systematically stripped everything away. Now, with no family to turn to, she found herself adrift, her spirit slowly eroding with each passing day. The shame of her situation was a heavy cloak, almost as suffocating as the cold rain. When she looked up and saw a man in a tailored suit standing over her, she instinctively flinched, expecting judgment or dismissal. Instead, Arthur's voice was gentle. "Are you all right? Is there anything I can do?" Clara, surprised by his genuine concern, could only shake her head, fresh tears mixing with the rainwater on her cheeks. I have nowhere to go," she whispered, the words a raw confession. Arthur's heart, usually a fortress of pragmatism, softened. He thought of his own daughter, tucked safely in her warm bed, and a wave of empathy washed over him. He made a decision then and there, a spontaneous, uncharacteristic one that would ripple through both their lives. "Stay here tonight," he said, holding out a hand to help her up. "I have a place." Clara, bewildered and wary, hesitated. A billionaire offering a homeless woman shelter. It sounded like a cruel trick, or worse. But something in his eyes, a flicker of genuine compassion, urged her to trust him. She took his outstretched hand, her fingers cold and trembling in his warm grasp. The ride to Arthur's sprawling mansion was silent, a stark contrast to Clara's usual nocturnal wanderings. The opulence of the house, when they arrived, was overwhelming. She felt like an alien, out of place and out of time. Arthur, sensing her unease, directed his housekeeper, Mrs. Gable, to prepare a guest room and warm food. Mrs. Gable, a woman who had seen all manner of peculiar requests from her employer, simply nodded, her expression unreadable. Clara, after a hot shower and a nourishing meal, found herself in a luxurious bed, the soft sheets a stark contrast to the unforgiving concrete she was used to. Sleep, a rare commodity, came swiftly, bringing with it a peace she hadn't known in months. The next morning, the rain had stopped, and sunlight streamed into her room. Clara awoke with a jolt, expecting to be back on the streets. Instead, she was surrounded by comfort. Downstairs, Arthur was already at his breakfast table, poring over documents. He greeted her with a polite smile. "Good morning, Clara. I hope you slept well." Over breakfast, they talked. Arthur, surprisingly, was an attentive listener, allowing Clara to share snippets of her past, her aspirations, and the slow, insidious way she had lost everything. He learned about her dream of becoming a nurse, her passion for helping people, and the frustration of her current circumstances. Arthur, a man who built empires, saw not a victim, but potential. He saw a resilient spirit, a keen mind, and a drive that reminded him, in a strange way, of himself. He offered her a temporary position in his office, not out of charity, but because he genuinely believed she could contribute. Clara, stunned, accepted. It was a lifeline she hadn't dared to dream of. The first few weeks were a challenge. Clara, though intelligent, lacked formal office experience. She fumbled with spreadsheets, misunderstood corporate jargon, and felt the weight of her inexperience. Yet, Arthur was patient, offering guidance and encouragement. He assigned her to a junior assistant, Sarah, who, beneath a somewhat gruff exterior, harbored a kind heart. Sarah, initially skeptical, soon recognized Clara's dedication and helped her navigate the complexities of the corporate world. Slowly, Clara began to blossom. She absorbed information like a sponge, her natural empathy proving invaluable in client interactions. She discovered a knack for organizing, for problem solving, and for bringing a human touch to the often impersonal world of business. Arthur, observing her progress, felt a quiet satisfaction. His initial act of kindness had not been an impulse, it was an investment. One day, while working on a project for Sterling Industries' philanthropic division, Clara stumbled upon a proposal for a community outreach program aimed at helping homeless individuals regain their footing. She remembered the crushing despair she had felt, the sense of invisibility. She poured her heart into the project, suggesting improvements, drawing on her lived experience to make it more effective and compassionate. Arthur was deeply impressed by her insights and her unwavering commitment. He saw a leader emerging, a voice for those who had none. He decided to make her the project manager for this new initiative. Clara, initially overwhelmed by the responsibility, found strength in her purpose. She worked tirelessly, collaborating with local charities, securing resources, and building a team. She launched workshops on resume writing, provided access to job training, and most importantly, created a network of support that offered not just housing, but hope. As the program gained traction, lives were undeniably changed. People who had once felt discarded by society found jobs, stable housing, and a renewed sense of dignity. Clara's story, from homeless to trailblazer, became an inspiration within Sterling Industries and beyond. She proved that circumstances do not define a person, and that with a little belief, anyone can rise. Years passed. Clara, now a respected director within Sterling Industries, never forgot where she came from. She continued to champion causes for the underprivileged, using her platform to advocate for systemic change. Arthur, her mentor and friend, watched her success with pride. His one impulsive act of kindness had not only saved a life but had also sparked a movement. The memory of that rainy night, when a billionaire stopped for a crying homeless mother, remained a powerful reminder. It taught Arthur that true wealth wasn't just in the balance sheet, but in the impact one could have on another human being. It taught Clara that even in the darkest moments, hope could be found, sometimes in the most unexpected places. And so, we close this chapter on stories that mend. Remember Clara's journey, and consider how a single act of kindness can create a ripple effect that touches countless lives. What act of kindness can you perform today? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your support helps us continue sharing these inspiring stories that mend hearts and ignite change. Until next time, keep mending, keep hoping, and keep believing.